بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Inshallah, we are going to study a few pages. So fasten your belt and we are going to move fast, inshallah. Al-Mabhas al-Thadis al-Fawr wa-Tarahi. There is a discussion whether command indicates that you have to answer promptly, immediately you have to do it, or you can delay. If Mawla, Master says, bring me something, do you need to do it quickly, or you can do it anytime? You can take your time and do it whenever you like. So, al-mabhath al-sadis, al-fawr wa-tarahi. Fawr means straight away, prompt answer. Tarahi means you can delay. Okay? اختلف الأصوليون في دلالة هيئة الأمر على الفور أو التراخي. Scholars of Usul al-Fiqh have disagreed about هيئة الأمر, the structure of command, the cast of the command, indicating immediate answer or you can delay it. There are different opinions. Some say إنها تدل على الفور. It indicates that you have to do it as soon as possible, quick. Some say تدل على التراخي. You can delay it. Some say إنها لا تدل على واحد منهما. It doesn't indicate any of them, neither for nor tarahi. So if you want to understand for or tarahi, you have to understand it from additional evidence. Just for example, saleh doesn't indicate whether you have to do it quickly or you can delay. وَالْحَقُّ هُوَ الثَّالِث. The correct opinion is the third, and that is none of the for or tarahi can be understood from the Siqatul Amr, from the command. Al-Haqqu huwa al-Thalith lima taqaddama fil marrati wa takrar. The same thing that we said about whether we have to do it once or we have to repeat. We said the hay'a, the structure, is for pushing someone towards the action, and the root, like dharb, like salat, is just the nature of the action, the tabi'ah. So there is nothing that indicates that you have to do it once or repeat. Here the same. There is nothing that indicates whether you have to do it quickly, immediately, or you can delay. Saleh. A structure means command, and root is salat. So in salat, this is tabi'atul salat. You cannot have anything about delay or promptness from the madda nor from siqa. أن الهيئة وضعت للبعث. هيئة is designated for ba'th, means pushing. والمادة, like salat, like اضرب, ضرب, اكتب, كتابة, the root. وضعت للصرف الطبيعة, only for the nature, for the essence of that action. Salat, ضرب, like beating. فليس هناك ما يدل على واحد منهما. There is nothing that would indicate one of the two, either for or tarahi. There are people who say actually it indicates promptness. Some people, they say, we choose the first view, the first opinion. And that is dalalatul amr ala al-fawr. Their argument is coming from two verses of the Quran. استدل القائل بالفور بآيتين. Those who believe in necessity of prompt response, they have argued from two verses of the Quran. Number one, قوله سبحانه أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you must go fast, move fast towards forgiveness from your Lord. And heaven, forgiveness and heaven. Which heaven? A heaven whose width is equal to the skies and the earth. Jannatin arduha, so it's very wide. Its width is as-samawatu wal-ard. U'iddat lil-muttaqin, which is prepared for the pious people. How they argue from this ayah, you may say it doesn't look relevant. They say no, it's relevant. Why? Because when it says Sari'u ila maghfirah, go fast towards maghfirah, you cannot go towards maghfirah. Means go fast towards sababul maghfirah. Do quickly what can lead to maghfirah. Do something that would cause Allah's forgiveness, which means do your wajibat. So it means that you have to do wajibat quickly. Sari'u ila maghfiratin means sari'u ila ma yusabbibul maghfirah. Move fast towards something that causes maghfirah, and that is doing your wajibat. So you have to do wajibat as soon as possible. The answer is, first of all, what causes maghfirah is wajibat and mustahabbat. It's not only wajibat. Doing mustahabbat is also good. If you are doing charity work, if you are praying, this also can cause maghfirah. Yeah? You say, oh Allah, please forgive me, can cause maghfirah. So you cannot say sari'u here means wujub, because it's not necessary to do mustahabbat quickly. Sari'u means be fast. It can be wajib, it can be mustahab. It doesn't mean you must be fast. This is the first objection to the argument. The second objection to the argument is, you are, even if your point was correct, you are understanding the fact that the response should be prompt from an external evidence, from sari'u, from an ayah in the Quran. This means that the command by itself was not indicating promptness. You are using an external evidence. Okay? For example, in the Quran we have, for example, aqimus salah. We have, for example, atu zakah. The question is, do these commands indicate that you have to answer quickly, immediately, or not? You are referring to an ayah that, first of all, that ayah's indication is not complete. Istidlal is not tam. Okay? But even if we accept that this ayah means that you have to do wajibat as soon as possible, so this means that you have an external evidence that you have to do wajibat as soon as possible. So sighatul am by itself didn't mean that. So even according, for example, to Ayatollah Subhani's view that says sighatul am doesn't mean for or tarahi, still he accepts that there can be another evidence which says you have to do it quickly. So it doesn't reject or refute the idea that neither for nor tarahi can be understood from sighatul am. Wajhul istidlal. This is explanation of the argument, how they argue from this ayah. Inna al-maghfirah fi'lullah ta'ala. Forgiving is an action of God. So, we cannot say ayah means you must be going fast towards an action of God. It means you must move fast towards something which is your action but can bring God's action. That is sababul maghfirah. Something that you do that would qualify you for receiving forgiveness from God. So, innal maghfirata fi'lullah ta'ala is an action of God. فَلَا مَعْنَى لِمُصَارَعَةِ الْعَبْدِ إِلَيْهِ. There is no sense of saying that the servant of God should go fast towards an action of God. We cannot make the action of God faster. We cannot hasten the action of God. فَيَكُونُ الْمُرَادُ. So what is meant is الْمُصَارَعَةُ إِلَىٰ أَسْبَابِ الْمَغْفِرَةِ. It means that you must move fast towards something that brings Allah's maghfirah, causes Allah's maghfirah, and that is doing something like your wajibat. وَمِنْهَا, one of the causes of maghfirah is فِعْلُ الْمَعْمُورَ بِهِ. When you do what you are commanded to do, ma'mur bih means what you are asked to do, what you are commanded to do. When you bring what you are commanded to do, then inshallah Allah will forgive you. So the argument is this: سارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم is سارعوا إلى ما يسبب المغفرة, which means do your wajibat quickly. يلاحظ عليه. But we have reservation here. We have objection here. أن أسباب المغفرة لا تنحصر بالواجبات. Those things that can lead to maghfirah are not only wajibat. Doing mustahabbat also can lead to maghfirah. And no one has said that doing mustahabbat immediately is necessary. إذ المستحبات أيضا من أسبابها. Ha means what? من أسباب المغفرة. Recommended actions are also some of the causes of maghfirah. وَإِنَّئِذٍ لَا يُمْكِنْ أَن تَكُونَ الْمُصَارَعَةُ وَاجِبَةً. So since musara'a applies to both performance of wajibat and mustahabbat, musara'a cannot be wajib. Because no one says that doing mustahabbat promptly is wajib. وعندئذ لا يمكن أن تكون المصارعة واجبة مطلقة مع كون أصل العمل في بعض الموارد مستحبا. When the action itself is mustahab, how doing it fast is wajib? Do you know any mustahab that it's mustahab but it's obligatory to do it promptly? There is no such thing. Yes.
But Shaykh, that was not really the argument about mustahabat. They're not really saying you have to do mustahabat quickly.
No, we are saying you are using something that is used for both mustahab and wajib. So it means that it cannot mean something as obligation. You have to interpret in the way that can be applicable to both mustahab and wajib acts. If you mean by it only wajib, then it cannot be used for mustahab. I mentioned also another objection.
Which is,
What was the second objection?
it is external evidence.
Even if we accept your point, we say this doesn't mean that sighatul am by itself indicated for. For is understood from an ayah. It's external. Number 2, the second ayah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولو شاء الله لجعلكم أمة واحدة. Had God wanted, He would have made you one united nation. ولكن ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم. But God wants to test you with respect to what He has given you. فاستبقوا الخيرات. So proceed in doing good things. So they say, look, ayah says you must proceed, you must try to be faster than other people in doing wajibat. فظاهر الآية وجوب الاستباق. Istibaq means to precede others, to win the competition. So the apparent meaning, the outward meaning of the ayah is that it's necessary to precede others in doing good. In your movement towards good, you have to precede others, which means you have to do it promptly. Because wajibat are one of the instances of khair. Wajibat are khair or not? Are good or not? Yes. So the ayah says, fastabiqu. Proceed. Yeah. Precede others. Yulahadhu alayh. We have few problems here. First of all, istibaq doesn't mean to be prompt. Istibaq means precede other people. You know, for example, just as an example, if midday there is a call for prayer, okay? Midday, there's a call for prayer. If we say it indicates 4, it means that if, for example, azan is 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., so you must do it as soon as possible. 1 point, for example, 1 hour, 1 hour and 1 minute, 1 hour or 2 minutes, quickly. But istibaq is a matter of comparison. If A does salat 3 o'clock, and B 3 and 5, C 3 and 10, another 4 o'clock. So A, who has done salat at 3 p.m., has preceded others. But he is not prompt. Did you get the point?
Yeah.
So, fastabiqu is a matter of competition and being winner in the competition, being the first winner, the first one who achieves something. But it doesn't mean that it has to be prompt. Just you have to make sure that other people don't do it before you. Okay? Yulahadhu alayh. We have objection, we have a reservation about this argument. أن مفاد الآية بعث العباد نحو العمل بالخير بأن يتسابق كل على الآخر. What this ayah indicates is pushing servants of God towards action by one preceding others. So each one should try to be doing this before others do it. For example, we have Vastabaq al-Bab in the story of Yusuf and Zulaykha. Vastabaq al-Bab means each of them wanted to be the first person to open the door, to reach the door. Maybe to open the door or to close the door, I don't know, maybe one wanted to run away, one wanted to close the door so that the other one doesn't want to run away. Anyway, they were competing each other in moving towards the door. It's not a matter of 4, it's a matter of preceding. ولا صلة للآية بوجوب مبادرة كل مكلف إلى ما وجب عليه. there is no connection. Sila means what? Sila sometimes means connection, sometimes means gift. Sila, have you heard Sila? Gift. Salatul Rahim is connection. But Sila sometimes means gift. If you give a gift, they say it's Sila. A person took some gift to Imrul Mu'mineen, and Imrul said, As-salatun am zakatun am sadaqah. What is this? Is it a gift? Is it a zakat? It's a sadaqah? All of them have problem. Because it was like a kind of bribery. Anyway, salam means gift. But here salam means connection from Vasl. So, this ayah has no connection with the wujub mubadara, necessity of mubadara, means doing fastly, quickly what is commanded. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ فِي مَذَنَّةِ السَّبْ. Even if it is not about competition. If it's not about competition, this wujub cannot be understood. As if ila dhalik, moreover, in addition to this problem, there is another problem. أن محور البحث دلالة صيغة الأمر بنفسها على الفور لا بالقرائن الخارجية. The same problem we had before. The question was whether صيغة الأمر by itself indicates for or not. Not an external reason like ayah or a hadith indicates for or tarahi. So, دلالة صيغة الأمر بنفسها على الفور لا بالقرائن الخارجية. فلو تمت دلالة الآيتين على الفورية, even if we accept that the indication of these two ayah is complete, there is dalala, and dalala is accepted, تكون النتيجة لزوم الاتيان بالمأمور به فورا لقرائن خارجية. Even if you accept that it indicates for, it means that these two ayah as two external evidence indicated for. وهو خارج عن محط البحث. This is not related to our question. Our question was whether صيغة الأمر by itself, without anything else, indicates for. Okay? Al-Faslu Salis Al-Ijza. Okay, I give you 5 minutes break because Ijza is a difficult discussion. Just 5 minutes break and inshallah we continue. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wow. You can breathe some fresh air. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-aliyyil azim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi tayyibin at-tahirin. Allahumma akhrajni min dhulumat al-wahm wa akrimni bi nur al-fahm. Allahumma aftah alayna abwab rahmatik wa anshur alayna khaza'in ulumik bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahim. Now we have a very important discussion, al-ijza, sufficiency. We had this in the previous book. And I think in the exam also we had a question on this. So you have some background. And inshallah, I hope it will not be difficult. But if there is any question, you can always ask. The idea is this. If you are asked to do something, and you have done it, do you need to repeat? Or after time is over, do you need to do qadha? No. For example, you said Salatul Zuhr, and now still you have time. Do you need to repeat? No. Or it is after Maghrib, do you need to do qaza of Salatul Zuhr after you have done Salatul Zuhr? No. This is clear. But if you were supposed to do Salatul Zuhr with wuzu, but you didn't have water and you did tayammum. Now, 1 hour, 2 hours before Maghrib, or even half an hour, or 10 minutes before Maghrib, water is available. You can make wuzu. Do you need to repeat your salat with wuzu? Or, for example, after Maghrib, wuzu is possible. Do you need to do qaza? To this question. So, tayammum was something for emergency. When the condition is not emergencies, the situation is normal. Is what you did when you were in emergency enough, or you have to do it again? This is a question. Those who believe in ijza, in sufficiency, they say when you have done something according to Amr Estirari, the command which was for emergency, you don't need to repeat it after emergency is over. The other case is when you are in a state of doubt about al-hukm al-waqi'i al-awwali, and you use usul amali, you use practical principles. For example, you had wuzu in the morning. Now it's the time of salat, midday. You don't remember whether you slept or not, whether your wuzu is void or not. You can do istishab. لا تنقض اليقين بالشك. You knew that you had wuzu, you are in doubt whether your wuzu is broken, so you say, I assume my wuzu is there. Then after you perform salat, you realize that your wuzu was not there, you had slept. You've forgotten, you remember that you had slept. Is your salat okay, or you have to do salat? Or for example, there was a dress. That dress used to be tahir. Then you doubted. You assume that tahara is continuing. You did istishab. But later you realized that, oh, there was najasa. Is your salat okay, or you have to repeat? So there are two cases which are very important for us. Otherwise, normal cases we don't repeat. One is when you act according to al-amr al-istirari, a command which is for emergency, and the emergency condition is over, you are back to normal. Do you need to repeat it or not? One is when you act according to usul amali, practical principles like istishab, like takhir, like bara'ah. Do you need to repeat when you know hukm waqi'i, the doubt is over or not? So this is the discussion. Now let's go to the text and see what Ayatollah Subhani says about this issue. Al-ijza. Ajza, yujzi, mujzi, ijza. Ajza is past tense, yujzi is present tense, mujzi means something which is sufficient. If you read beginning of Risala, normal it is written عمل به این رساله عملیه انشاءالله مجزی است و مبرئ ذمه است. مجزی means it's sufficient, and your ذمه inshallah will be free. Okay? They write at the beginning of Risala. So sufficiency. Tasdir. Tasdir means forward, something that we say as a introduction. La niza'a. There is no debate, there is no disagreement. في أن المكلف إذا امتثل ما أمر به مولاه على الوجه المطلوب. There is no doubt that when the person who is responsible, who has been asked to do something, if he implements, he obeys his master by implementing what he has said to him, على الوجه المطلوب, in the way which is acceptable, so has all the conditions, all the parts, no obstacle, everything is perfect, so he doesn't need to repeat. You do salat with all the ajza, all the parts, with all the conditions, no obstacle, no mane, so you don't need to repeat it again. إذا امتثل ما أمر به مولاه على الوجه المطلوب أي جامعا لما هو معتبر فيه من الأجزاء, whatever was necessary, whatever was needed, parts, أجزاء, شرائط, conditions. If he has done all of them, like salat, you have niyyah, you have qira'ah, you have ruku, sujood, salam, tashahhud, all the wajibat. You have all the shurut, like tahara, istiqbalul qibla, ibahatul makan, ibahatul sawb. All these conditions are also there. So you don't need to repeat it again. يُعَدُّ مُمْتَثِلًا لِذَلِكَ الْأَمْرِ. He is counted, he is considered as mumtathil. What does mumtathil mean? Someone who has been obedient and has implemented من دون حاجة إلى امتثال ثان, and there is no need to do it again. Is it clear? Clear?
Yes.
Okay. دليل ذلك. The reason for this is as follows. إن الهيئة تدل على البعث أو الطلب. The structure of amr, صيغة الأمر, هيئة الأمر, indicates ba'th, pushing, or talab, asking. When he says idhab, means he wants you to go. He's pushing towards going, or he's asking to go. When he says salli, means pushing you towards prayer, or asking you to pray. Wal maddatu tadullu ala tabi'ah. Madda here means what? The root. For example, salat, adl for i'dalu, kitaba for uktub. This madda only indicates tabi'ah, means just the nature, the essence of that verb, which is saying prayer, sitting, going. وهي توجد بوجود فرد واحد. Tabi'ah can come to existence by the existence of one instance. If you want to have humanity, how many human beings you need to have?
At least one.
Even if you have one human being, you have humanity. If you want to have horse, even if you have one horse, the tabi'ah of horse is coming to existence.
What does tabi'ah mean?
The nature, the essence, the whatness, the quiddity, mahiyya. So when you are told salih or zakah, as soon as you do one complete salat or you give one complete zakat, you have obeyed it and there is no need to do it again. والمادة تدل على الطبيعة وهي توجد بوجود فرد واحد فإذا امتثل المكلف ما أمر به, when the mukallaf, the one who is responsible, obeys by doing what he was asked to do, by bringing one instance, فَقَدْ امْتَثَلَ. So he has been listening, he has acted upon the command, and there is no command left after that which would require to do it again. You were asked saleh and you said prayer, that's it. There is no saleh remaining to ask you to do it again and again. Is it clear? So we don't have any problem with a kind of salat which comes with all the shurut, with all the ajza, everything normal. This is not something that needs discussion. We need to discuss about two cases. And that is when you do salat with a compromise about, for example, some condition, because you are in emergency. Instead of wuzu, you do tayammum. Is now after condition is normal, is that salat enough, sufficient or not? Or if you did according to Usul Amali, practical principles, now doubt is over, is it sufficient or not? So we talk about these cases. إنما النزاع في إجزاء الأمر الواقعي الاضطراري عن الاختياري 1 وإجزاء الأمر الظاهري عن الواقعي 2. The discussion, the debate, نزاع means debate, fighting, but here of course we don't fight. This is discussion. Yeah? Two mu'min should not get into fighting. إنما النزاع. This is debate. Is in two cases. 1, sufficiency of primary command, but for emergency. Is it sufficient? Does it suffice al-ikhtiyari? So you don't need to do what is in the normal condition when you have choice and option. Is wuzu for ikhtiyar or istirar? Wuzu is for ikhtiyar. When you have choice, you do wuzu. Tayammum is for istirar. When you have no choice, when there is istirar, emergency. So if you acted according to the command for emergency, but now the situation of emergency is over, you are back to normal, you need to repeat salat or not? This is one case. The second case is إجزاء الأمر الظاهري عن الواقعي. If you act according to the apparent command instead of real primary command, is it sufficient or not? ها هنا مبحثان. So we have two discussions. المبحث الأول, the first discussion is about اضطراري, about tayammum and wuzu. You did salat according to اضطراري with tayammum, and now اضطرار is over and you can do wuzu. إجزاء الأمر الواقعي الاضطراري عن الاختياري. الصلوات اليومية واجبة بالطهارة المائية. Daily prayers are obligatory to be performed with tahara, with water. You have to have wuzu or ghusl, if it is depending on cases, some ghusl, like ghusl janabat for example, or wuzu. But it has to be with water. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق وامسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين. So اغسلوا, you must use water. But ربما يكون المكلف غير واجد للماء. Sometimes mukallaf has no water, or has water but water is harmful. Yeah, sometimes water is harmful. For example, it's freezing cold, and if you want to make wuzu with water, you may be becoming ill. Yeah, sometimes it's so cold that as soon as you put water, it becomes frozen. It's dangerous. So either you don't have water or water is harmful. فجعلت الطهارة الترابية مكان الطهارة المائية. Then tahara with soil is a replacement, a substitute for tahara with ma لأجل الاضطرار, because of emergency. Is it clear?
Yes.
Again, this is also mentioned in the Quran. Not only taharatul ma'iyya, also taharatul turabiyya. Tayammum. وَإِن كُنْتُم مَرْضَى, if you are ill, or ala safarin, or you are traveling, أو جاء أحد منكم من الغائط أو لامستم النساء, you go to washroom or you have marital relation, فَلَمْ تَجِدُوا مَاءً, and you don't find water, فَتَيَمَّمُوا صَعِيدًا طَيِّبًا. Do tayammum with sa'id, which is what's called earth, something which is on the surface of the earth, like soil, like sand, like dust, like marble. These are things with which you can do tayammum. فَالصَّلَاةُ بِالطَّهَارَةِ الْمَائِيَّةِ فَرْضٌ اخْتِيَارِيٌّ. Salat with wuzu is something that you can do in ikhtiyar, when there is no emergency, when you have option, when you are able to do what you like, you go for wuzu. وَالْأَمْرُ بِهِ أَمْرٌ وَاقِعِيٌّ أَوَّلِيٌّ. And the command for doing wuzu is primary command and real one. كما أن الصلاة بالطهارة الترابية فرض اضطراري. But to do tayammum is اضطراري. Is it awali or not? Is it واقعي or not? He says الأمر به أمر واقعي, because it's not usul amali. Amr is واقعي, but it is not awali. It's sanawi, because it's اضطراري. Is it clear?
Yes.
So why it is واقعي?
Because it is extracted. It is not based on usul amali.
Because this is the real hukm in the knowledge of God. Also, you have to do tayammum. Yeah. It's not something that when you have doubt about hukm awwali, then you do istisab or bara'ah. No, it's a hukm awwali. Sorry, hukm waqi. It's in the knowledge of God. Why it is sanawi, secondary? Because for emergency. In normal cases, you don't do tayammum. فيقع الكلام في أن المكلف إذا امتثل المأمور به في حال الاضطرار على الوجه المطلوب فهل يسقط الأمر الواقعي الأولي? The question is this: if the one who is commanded, al-ma'mur bih, brings what he has been commanded. So the person brings what he has been commanded. In the emergency, in a good way. So he does all the things that you have to do in emergency. Proper tayammum. Tayammum is proper. Recitation, qibla, everything is perfect. The only problem is just tayammum. Because if it has other problems, so you have to repeat. But imagine no problem at all. The only thing is that you are doing tayammum, means you are doing something according to amr istirari. هل يسقط الأمر الواقعي الأولي? Then the primary real one, which was to do salat with wuzu, it has dropped or it's still in effect. And as soon as you can do wuzu, you have to do it. هل يسقط الأمر الواقعي الأولي بمعنى أنه لو تمكن من الماء بعد إقامة الصلاة بالتيمم لا تجب عليه الإعادة ولا القضاء أو لا يسقط? Is that one in effect or it has dropped? If it is in effect, you have to repeat. And if time is over, you have to do qaza. If it has dropped, by doing salat with tayammum, that one for wuzu has dropped, has gone, then you don't need to repeat. أما سقوط أمر نفس الاضطراري. But to say that after salat with tayammum you have to do again salat with tayammum, of course this is no one saying this. It's like salat with wuzu and then doing it again with wuzu. We said in the beginning, when you do something with all the shara'it and ajza, you don't need to repeat. With istirari, in the case that istirar continues, also you don't need to repeat. Okay? You didn't have water, so 1 o'clock you did wuzu, tayammum and prayed. in 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, still you don't have water. So you don't need to do tayammum and repeat your salah. The question is, if now you have water, do you need to make another salat with wuzu or not? ثم إن للمسألة السورتين. This has two conditions or two possibilities, two types. Sometimes تارة يكون العذر غير مستوعب. The problem, the excuse is not covering all the time that you had. يكون العذر غير مستوعب means is not embracing or is not covering all your time. كما إذا كان المكلف فاقدا للماء في أول الوقت. For example, at the beginning of time, he didn't have water, and we said it is possible to say salat with tayammum, because some people may say, if you don't have water, don't say your salat awwalul waqt. Wait, maybe later you find water. Just towards the end of the time, if you have no water, then do tayammum and say your salat. Some people may say this. But if we say, no, you can do it in the beginning of time, so you said your salat with tayammum in the beginning of time, and then later still you have time and you find water. What should you do? So, the first situation is this. يكون العذر غير مستوعب. What does it mean? يكون العذر غير مستوعب. It doesn't include all the time that you have. It's not, it has endured. Is it clear? Your lack of water is not continuing so that throughout the time of salat you do not have water. It stops. You don't have water for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, but still there is time and you have water. This is one option. The other option is that throughout the time you don't have water. So, تارة يكون العذر غير مستوعب. The excuse, the problem, is not including, covering all the time. كما إذا كان المكلف فاقدا للماء في أول الوقت. Like he didn't have water in the beginning of time. وقلنا بجواز البدار, and we said he can do salat in the beginning of time with tayammum. If you say he cannot, this doesn't become applicable. But imagine you are a faqih who says when you don't have water, you don't need to wait. Say your salat awwalul waqt with tayammum. So you have done your salat with tayammum, but later still there is time and you find water. فصلى متيمما ثم صار واجدا له في أثنائه. في أثناء الوقت he finds water. This is one option. The other option is يكون العذر مستوعبا. Throughout the time he has no water. كما إذا كان فاقدا للماء في جميع الوقت. From Zuhr till Maghrib, no water. فصلى متيمما ثم ارتفع العذر بعد خروج الوقت. After time is over, for example, in the night, or next day, or next week, he finds water. Does he need to repeat or not? فالكلام في القسم الأول, when still there is time, is whether we need to repeat or not. Is وجوب الإعادة في الوقت. But in the second case, kalam is not in i'ada, kalam is in qadha, because time is over. Is qadha wajib or not? You understand the difference between i'ada and qadha? I'ada means still there is time, it has not become qadha. Okay.
So what does it say? When the time is still there, you have to use the water and to do it again.
Pardon?
When the the water becomes available, when the time is still there, you have to do it again.
If you don't accept ijza. If you accept ijza, you don't need to repeat it. Okay?
So if you have time,
Yes.
if you have time, you do have to repeat or you don't have to?
No. Depends whether you accept ijza or you don't accept ijza. If you accept ijza, you don't need to repeat. If you don't accept ijza, you have to repeat. After you understood different options, now we want to get to the position of choosing one of these different views. الدليل على الإجزاء. The argument of those who believe in sufficiency, so that you don't need to repeat or you don't need to do qaza, is this. أنه إذا كان المتكلم في مقام البيان لما يجب على المكلف عند الاضطرار. If the speaker, who is the speaker? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah? The one who said, فَتَيَمَّمُوا سَعِيدًا طَيِّبًا. Yeah? So the one who is legislating. If the speaker, because this is the rule of language, so we say mutakallim. If any language, you have a speaker who is in maqamul bayan, he wants to express what he wants. In the case of emergency, and he doesn't say anything about repeating afterwards or doing qaza afterwards. He just says when you are in emergency, do tayammum. He doesn't say anything else. He doesn't say, you have to repeat when you find water. So it means that it's mujzi, it's sufficient. You don't need to be worried about necessity of repeating.
So bayan is several meanings. Here it says bayan is
Expressing. He wants to express himself.
expressing.
Because sometimes he's not in maqam al-bayan. For example, it's taqiyya. Or sometimes he's just telling you the framework. He wants to mention details later. Yeah? أنه إذا كان المتكلم في مقام البيان لما يجب على المكلف عند الاضطرار, when he is intending to explain what mukallaf has to do when there is emergency, and still لم يذكر إلا الإتيان بالفرد الاضطراري, mentioned except bringing the اضطراري instance من دون إشارة إلى إعادته أو قضائه بعد رفع الوس. He has not indicated that you have to repeat or you have to do qaza when the emergency is over. فظاهر ذلك هو الإجزاء. So this apparently indicates sufficiency. مثلا إن ظاهر قوله سبحانه, when Allah says فَلَمْ تَجِدُوا مَاءً فَتَيَمَّمُوا سَعِيدًا طَيِّبًا, its apparent meaning is what? Means this is enough. Or there is hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abu Dhar, Ya Abu Dhar, يكفيك الصعيد 10 سنين. You may have tayammum for 10 years. Yeah? Imagine a person lives in a place there is no water for 10 years. Okay, for 10 years you can do tayammum. Of course, this may not apply, but it shows that as long as emergency is carrying on, you do tayammum. So, can anyone even imagine that after 10 years of doing tayammum, then you have to repeat all your salat? It cannot mean that. Yes.
This indicates 10 years of only emergency water for drinking, right? There's not enough water to do anything else with it. When the Prophet says 10 years no water, does that mean only enough water to drink to survive, right?
Yeah. Or maybe even for surviving, there is no water. There is only juice, for example. Pardon?
Or milk.
Or milk. Yeah. There is another hadith. Inna al-ma, sorry, Inna rabbal ma rabbus sa'id. The same Lord which has created water has created this sa'id, which is the wajhul ard, like sand, stone. فَقَدْ فَعَلَ أَحَدَ الطَّهُورَيْنِ. You have done one of the two ways of tahara. You can do tahara with wuzu, you can do tahara with. Yeah. So, ظاهر قوله سبحانه وظاهر قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وقوله عليه السلام. So one hadith was from the Prophet, one hadith is from Imam. There is one ayah. So we have word of God, word of the Prophet, word of Imam. Zahir, all of this is al-ijza, sufficiency. وَعَدَمُ وُجُوبِ الْإِعَادَةِ وَالْقَضَاءِ. You don't need to repeat or do qadha. وَإِلَّا, if God or Prophet meant that we have to repeat or do qaza, لَوَجَبَ عَلَيْهِ, it means عَلَى الْمُتَكَلِّمِ الْبَيَانِ. They should have told us. They should have told us that after excuse is over, emergency is over, you have to repeat. فَلَا بُدَّ فِي إِيجَابِ الْبَيَانِ بِهِ ثَانِيًا مِنْ دَلَالَةِ دَلِيلٍ بِالْخُصُوصِ. It was necessary to mention something specifically, to bring a specific, dalil, indicator. And if you say that mutakallim, the speaker, was not fi maqam al-bayan, he was not intending to express everything, okay, so he neither indicated i'ada or non-i'ada, so it means you don't have any reason, so you have to refer to bara'ah. If you don't know whether you have to repeat or not, if you don't know whether you have to do ghaza or not, so you don't do it. Yes? Because bara'ah says you have no taklif unless it is proved. If it's not proved that you have taklif, you don't have taklif. Yes? So, this is all about amr istirari. About tayammum, for example, which is in emergency. We said we have two cases. Now we move on to the second case, and that is when it is amr zahiri, like acting according to usul amaliyah. You act according to istishab, you act according to bara'ah, then later it is proved that the reality was different. The reality was different from what your istishab told you, or what bara'ah told you. المبحث الثاني في إجزاء الأمر الظاهري عن الأمر الواقعي. Whether acting upon the outward or the apparent commands is sufficient and suffices doing the real command. الكلام في إجزاء امتثال الأمر الظاهري عن امتثال الأمر الواقعي يتوقف على توضيح الأمر الظاهري. To explain this, first we have to explain for you what do we mean by hukm zahiri, what do we mean by hukm awwali and waqi'i. Of course, you know this because you have already studied in the previous book. But no problem in reminding ourselves of this. Hukm waqi'i means what is the real hukm in the knowledge of God, fi ilmillah. Hukm zahiri here we mean something that when you have doubt about hukm waqi'i, you don't know what is hukm waqi'i, you have to do something as a matter of practice. Practically you have to do something. You cannot just wait and wait and wait. So here we have usul amaliyah, which would not tell us what is in hukmullah. Just tells us what we have to do now. Okay, you understand the difference between hukm waqi'i and hukm zahiri? Studying usul is very good for making your mind very sharp and analytical. ينقسم الحكم عند الأصوليين إلى واقعي وظاهري. أما الحكم الواقعي فهو الحكم الثابت للشيء, is the ruling which is ثابت, which is proved or which is established, which exists for something بما هو هو, meaning in reality as such. أي من غير لهذا كون المكلف جاهلا بالواقع أو شاكا فيه. This is the real hook, not the hook for someone who doesn't know the real hook. So someone who is in doubt. Istishab is not hukm waqi, because istishab is for someone who had yaqeen and now he has shak. Bara is for someone who has shak. But hukm waqi doesn't have anything to do with shak or yaqeen. It's about the real issue in the knowledge of God. أما الحكم الواقعي فهو الحكم الثابت للشيء بما هو هو, أي من غير لهذا كون المكلف جاهلا بالواقع أو شاكا فيه. You have not considered that mukallaf doesn't know or is in doubt. كوجوب الصلاة والصوم والزكاة وغيرهما or وغيرها. It has to be غيرها because we mentioned three things. وجوب الصلاة والصوم والزكاة وغيرها من الأحكام القطعية. Salat is wajib not for someone who has doubt, regardless of doubt. فالموضوع للوجوب نفس الصلاة بما هي لا بما هي مشكوكة الحكم. Salat as such is wajib, not salat when you have doubt is wajib. Okay? أما الحكم الظاهري فهو الحكم الثابت للشيء عند عدم العلم بالحكم الواقعي. This is the ruling which is fixed for something when you don't know the real hukm and you have to do something as a matter of practicality. You have to refer to something that solves the problem, and that is usul amaliyah. Usul amaliyah are practical principles that only help you to decide what to do now. It doesn't identify what is in hukmullah, in ilmullah. عند عدم العلم بالحكم الواقعي وهذا كالأحكام الثابتة بالأصول العملية. خب إذا عرفت ذلك, if inshallah you understood this, يقع الكلام في أن العمل بالأصول هل يقتضي الإجزاء عن امتثال الأمر الواقعي? If you acted upon usul amaliyah, does it suffice? Or later, if you know amr waqi'i, you have to repeat. If you acted according to istishab, if you acted according to bara'ah, or takhir, or ihtiyat, and later doubt is finished, you know hukm waqi'i. Do you need to repeat or not?
What's amara? إن عمل بالأمارة أو الأصول. I think it's a slight different word.
There is no amara here.
In this book,
No, amara is wrong.
is wrong.
Yes, usul. Because amara is actually for hukm waqi. That's another meaning of hukm zahiri.
So we should change this word?
Just أن العمل بالأصول. If you have amara,
Two books have amara.
no. أن العمل بالأصول.
Amara is waqi'i.
Amara is hukm zahiri in another sense, which is for hukm waqi'i, but it is dhanni. Because hukm waqi'i can be proved bil yaqeen or bil zahir. But that zahir is different from this zahir. Okay? There must be no amara, usul amali. Amara is like khabar wahid. Khabar wahid is different from usul amali. Khabar wahid is about hukm waqi'i, but it is dhanni, not yaqini. So we use in usul al-fiqh zahiri in two senses. Zahiri in the sense of something which is for doubt, for shak, and we have zahiri in the case of it's not yaqini, it is dhanni. So you have to be careful. أن العمل بالأصول not بالأمارة والأصول just بالأصول هل يقتضي الإجزاء عن امتثال الأمر الواقعي if you act upon أصول عملية does it suffice or you have to do أمر واقعي again if it's coming to your knowledge. Let us give you an example. إذا صلى في ثوب مستصحب الطهارة. If someone says his prayer in a dress while he is doing istishab of tahara. So he has a dress which used to be tahir. Now he has doubt. There is no reason to say that it is najis. So he assumes that tahara has remained. Okay? So he is doing salat in a dress which used to be tahir, but he doesn't know exactly what is the situation now. He does istishab. Is it clear? He does istishab. ثُمَّ تَبَيَّنَ. Afterwards, it becomes clear that it is najis. هل يجزي عن الإعادة في الوقت والقضاء بعده أو لا? Does it suffice repeating in time or qaza after time? Or no, you have to repeat or do qaza. Okay? الحق هو القول بالإجزاء. The correct view is that it's sufficient. You don't need to do your salat again. Why? Because when Shari, the lawmaker, the legislator says, صَلَّ فِي ثَوْبٍ طَاهِرٍ, say your salat in a clean clothes, فَهُوَ ظَاهِرٌ فِي لُزُومِ الصَّلَاةِ فِي ثَوْبٍ طَاهِرٍ وَاقِعًا. It means that it has to be really tahir, really clean. Then he says, كل شيء طاهر حتى تعلم أنه najis or qadr. Everything is clean unless it is proved that it is najis. So if it is not proved otherwise, you assume that it's clean. So it means that you can say your salat in a dress that you think it is still clean. يعلم منه أن الشرط لصحة الصلاة. What is the condition is to have tahara, either real tahara or tahara which is established by istishab. يعلم منه أن الشرط لصحة الصلاة هو, the condition for validity of salat is أعم, is more general, means it includes both أن يكون طاهرا واقعيا, to be really tahir or to be apparently طاهر, طاهرا ظاهريا. فلو صلى في مثل الثوب المشكوك, if he says his prayer in a clothes which is dubious, you are not sure about its tahara, but المحكوم شرعا بالطهارة, but something that religiously you assume that it is tahir, because for example it has a previous condition of tahara. Yeah? So you have doubt whether it is tahir, but religiously you have a principle to establish its tahara, like istishab. Al-mahkum shar'an bit-tahara. So religiously it is judged, it is ruled that it is tahir. This doesn't prove that it is really tahir. It just gives you a practical assumption that religiously you assume that it is tahir. فَصَلَاتُهُ وَاجِدَةٌ لِمَا هُوَ الشَّرْطُ لِلصِّحَّةِ. So this salat meets all the conditions which are needed for validity. You wanted tahara, okay, Shara tells you, you assume it is tahir. إذا الدليل الثاني كشف عن أن الشرط أعم من الطهارة الواقعية. Because when he says كل شيء طاهر حتى تعلم أنه قذر, we realize that tahara is more than just real tahara. Tahara can be real tahara, tahara can be tahara which is established by usul amaliyah. ولو علمت نجاسة الثواب فهو محكوم بالنجاسة ولكن الصلاة محكوم بالصحة. If afterward you know that this dress is najis, okay. So from now on, you assume that this is najis. But the prayer that you did before is valid. Why? Because it had the conditions. And one of those conditions was tahara. And tahara is a'am, from waqi or zahiri. So when you said the prayer, it had the condition. At that time, tahara was established. What type of tahara? At-tahara al-zahiri. So, this is the end of the discussion about ijza. Shall we stop?
So you can pray with a cloth which you assume to be tahir.
So, as a summary, not summary, as a summary, so if someone does his taklif with all the conditions, all the parts, there is no doubt that it is sufficient. You don't need to repeat it if there is time, or do qaza if time is over. No doubt. إنما الكلام. We only have discussion about two options. When you do something according to Amr Istirari and then Istirari is over. Or you do something according to Amr Zahiri when you have doubt about Hukm Waqi. You do something according to Usul Amali and then doubt is over. So these are two cases that we need to discuss. In both cases, Ayatollah Subhani believes in ijza. You don't need to repeat if time is there. You don't need to do ghaza if time is over. Why? Because Shari asked you to do something in istirar, and he was in maqam al-bayan, he was trying to explain everything you need to know for practice, and he didn't say that you have to repeat. And for hukm al-zahiri also, you needed tahara, for example, whether it be tahara al-waqi'iyya or tahara al-zahiriyya, whether it's a real tahara or tahara which is religiously established. So when you religiously establish by istishab, for example, or another practical principle, you establish tahara, that tahara is enough for you. You don't need to repeat it. And some also scholars argue, they say, al-amru al-zahiri, al-amru al-istirari, both are for helping us. It's a kind of facility. It's not suitable for someone so kind and merciful like God that brings something as a facility for us and then he says you have to do it again. So some people say, this is not complying with imtinan. He's, obliging us with giving this facility. And then he says you have to repeat it. It seems not compatible with his kindness and mercifulness. So, inshallah, next session we will talk about muqaddamatul wajib. Is it necessary religiously to bring the prerequisite? Rationally, it's necessary. But is it necessary to bring it religiously as well, or just rationally? To understand that, we will talk about different types of muqaddamatul wajib, muqaddamatul wujub, all these things, inshallah. So I hope you can refresh yourself with the discussion we had about muqaddamatul wajib in previous book, so that the next session would go, inshallah, smoothly. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.